Thinking in English, how to do it. Hello everyone and welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy you're here today. Our topic for this episode is something that every English learner dreams about. Thinking in English. Yes, that's right. Not just speaking or writing, but actually thinking in English. Have you ever wondered how fluent English speakers talk so easily? They don't stop to translate every word in their head. They just think in English, and the words flow naturally. So today we're going to talk about how you can do that too. Don't worry, it's not magic. It's something you can learn step by step. It takes practice, but it's possible for everyone. So let's talk about what it means to think in English. When we learn a new language, most of us start by translating. For example, if your first language is Burmese, Korean, or Spanish, you might think in your language first and then translate into English. Maybe you want to say, "I'm hungry." But first you think in your language, then find the English words, and then speak. That's normal in the beginning, but translation takes time. It makes your brain work too hard. That's why sometimes when you speak English, you feel slow or nervous, because your brain is doing two jobs at once. Thinking in English means your brain only does one job. It doesn't go back and forth between two languages. You start to see the world in English, not just the words, but the ideas, the feelings, and the pictures in your mind. When you can do that, your English becomes more natural, more confident, and more automatic. It's like switching from walking to flying. So how can we start thinking in English? Let's go step by step. First, don't worry about doing it all at once. You can start small, just like a baby learning to speak. Babies don't learn by studying grammar first. They listen, repeat, and connect words with actions. You can do the same. Let's start with simple daily thoughts. When you wake up in the morning, try to say a few things to yourself in English. For example, "Good morning. It's a sunny day. I need to brush my teeth. I'm going to make coffee." You don't need to make long or perfect sentences. Just short, simple thoughts, but say them in English. This is the first step to building an English thinking habit. Every time you do something, describe it in English, even in your head. If you're cooking, think, "I'm cutting onions." If you're walking, think, "I'm going to the bus stop." If you're tired, think, "I need to rest." These are small, easy sentences, but they train your brain to use English directly. Next, try to stop translating. This is one of the hardest steps, but also the most important. When you see something, like a chair or a cup, don't think of the word in your native language first. Look at it and say, "chair" or "cup" immediately. Make your brain connect the word to the image, not the translation. You can practice this anywhere. When you walk outside, name what you see. Tree, dog, car, street. When you're at home, window, table, book. This sounds simple, but it's actually how your brain starts to think directly in English. If you can, change your phone or computer to English. That way, your brain gets used to seeing English every day, not as a foreign language, but as something normal. At first, it might feel strange, but soon it becomes easy. Another great way to think in English is to talk to yourself. Yes, really. You don't need anyone else to practice speaking, just you and your thoughts. When you're alone, talk in English about what you're doing or how you feel. For example, "I'm cooking dinner. I hope it tastes good. I'm tired, but I still need to finish my homework. I saw a funny video today. You don't need perfect grammar. The goal isn't to be correct. It's to be comfortable. When you talk to yourself, you remove fear. You start to feel that English is your friend, not a test. If you make mistakes, don't stop. Keep going. The more you speak, even to yourself, the faster your brain learns to think in English. Here's another fun tip. Use English when you daydream. We all daydream, right? Maybe you imagine traveling, meeting new people, or doing something exciting. Try to do that in English. Imagine conversations, stories, or even jokes in English words. This kind of mental practice helps your brain connect emotions and imagination with English. That's when English becomes a part of you. Music and movies can also help a lot. When you listen to English songs, don't just hear the words, feel them. Try to imagine what the singer is thinking or feeling. When you watch English movies or shows, try not to translate every sentence. Just focus on the story. Your brain will slowly start to understand the meaning through context, not translation. It's okay if you don't understand everything. The goal isn't 100% understanding. It's 100% exposure. Every time you hear English, your brain learns something new. Even if it's small, it adds up. Another way to think in English is to ask yourself questions in English. For example, what time is it? What should I eat today? How am I feeling right now? And then answer in English too. You can do this quietly in your head or out loud. It trains your brain to use English for real-life thinking, not just for lessons or exams. The more you use English for everyday thoughts, the faster it becomes natural. Here's something important. Don't be afraid of mistakes. When you start thinking in English, you will make grammar mistakes. You might forget words or mix up tenses. That's okay. Native speakers also make mistakes when they speak fast or when they're tired. The goal isn't perfection, it's fluency. Fluency means you can express your ideas smoothly, even if it's not perfect. Mistakes are a sign that you're using the language, and that's what really matters. Now let's talk about something deeper. How to feel in English. When you truly think in English, you also start to feel in English. For example, when you say I'm happy, don't just translate the words, feel the emotion behind them. When you say I'm tired, notice how your voice and face change. Feeling the language helps you connect words to real experiences. It makes English more than just grammar. It becomes alive. Try to notice how English speakers use emotion in their voices. Excitement, sadness, surprise. When you practice that, your brain learns faster, because language is not just about words. It's about life. Some people say, but I think too slowly in English. That's okay. Thinking in English is like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, your thoughts will be slow and simple, but over time, they'll become faster, smoother, and more complex. The key is consistency. A few minutes every day is better than one long session once a week. If you think in English every morning, even for 5 minutes, it will soon become a habit. Let's imagine what your day could look like if you start thinking in English. You wake up and say, "Good morning. I feel a bit sleepy." You brush your teeth and think, "I need more toothpaste." You cook breakfast and say, "I love eggs and toast." On your way to school or work, you see people and think, "That man looks tired," or "That dog is cute." During lunch, you might tell yourself, "This food is delicious." And at night, before sleeping, you can think, "Today was a good day. I learned something new." See? You just lived your whole day thinking in English, without even opening a textbook. That's how fluency begins. Sometimes you might not know the right English word for something. Don't stop. Try to describe it instead. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say the thing that stops rain. If you forget microwave, you can say the machine that makes food hot. This keeps your brain in English mode and helps you learn creatively. Later, you can check the word if you want. But in that moment, what's most important is staying in English. Here's another idea. Keep an English diary. Every night, write a few sentences about your day, your feelings, or your plans. Don't worry about grammar. Just write freely. Writing is another way of thinking, and it helps you see how your thoughts flow in English. Over time, you'll notice your sentences getting longer and clearer. You can also record yourself speaking about your day. When you listen later, you'll hear how natural your English is becoming. That's great motivation to keep going. Thinking in English is not only about language, it's also about identity. When you start thinking in another language, you see the world a little differently. You might even feel like a slightly different version of yourself. More curious, more expressive, or more open. That's the magic of languages. They give us new ways to experience life. So when you start thinking in English, don't just practice words. Enjoy the process. Smile when you say thank you. Laugh when you make mistakes. Celebrate every small moment when English feels natural. That's how you grow. Let's remember something important. You don't have to be fluent to think in English. You can start today with the words you already know. Even if your English is very simple, you can still think in English. You can think, "I'm happy." You can think, "It's raining." You can think, "I love music." That's already thinking in English. Fluency begins in your mind, not in your grammar book. So here's a small challenge for you. For one day, try to think only in English. From the moment you wake up until you go to sleep, use English in your thoughts. It might be strange at first, but it's a great way to train your brain. If it feels hard, start with just 1 hour. Then slowly, make it longer each day. After a week, you'll notice a big difference. You'll speak faster, understand more, and feel more confident. Because your brain will start to see English as something normal. Thinking in English is not about being perfect. It's about building connection. It's about creating a bridge between your mind and the language you love. When you can think in English, you don't just learn it, you live it. So take small steps. Speak to yourself, describe your day, listen to English, write your thoughts, and most of all, enjoy the journey. You'll be surprised how far you can go. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this episode gives you motivation to start thinking in English from now on. Remember, you already have everything you need. Just start, one thought at a time. Until next time, keep learning, keep smiling, and keep thinking in English. Goodbye, my friends.